All right, guys. So as I said before, I have a leaking oil pump, and it's been leaking, I think, for a long time right down here. And there's a transfer tube in here, and I believe there's one in here. Then there's a main O-ring, and there might be a couple others, but I did order new O-rings. So these come, I can't remember, I got them from Charlie's out in California. So it's all new O-rings. And so what I did is I already took out a couple bolts. I'm going to take out two more here and pop this off, and hopefully I can just change it real quick. I don't know how much oil I'm going to lose, so you can see I got the bike kind of hanging sideways. And let's see what happens here. So that's that. This thing I don't think has ever been taken off before, so it might be a little bit tight. Yeah, I don't see it coming off very nicely. Let's see if I can get a little spot under here to pop it. There we go. So it looks like it's going to come straight out. Yep, of course. There's some oil. And there we go. Oil pump. So this is where it was leaking. With the main, I'll do the main one too. It could have been leaking from the main one and just seeping by everything here. But I see what I have and I'll change what I need to. But these are the transfer tubes, or areas where the tubes were. So there's the tubes. And yeah, it looks like this one was more wet than that. But let me just unplug this. There we go. And we'll set this down here. And we can see kind of what we have. It looks like, yeah, those two O-rings are. I found that most of my O-rings on this thing are completely rock solid. So they do need changed after 20 years of sitting. Yeah, so let's take a look. Yeah, this thing is rock hard and flat. O-rings are round, so we have this one here. Cut that out of there with a very dull knife. So we'll put this one in there first, which I think I might have to put around the tube actually. So both of these things, this one is also, you can even see it's flat. So let me just clean this area up. Make sure you clean all your mating surfaces. And there's another O-ring around that little tube there. So that's what these small ones are for. So there's a small one here. This is where old people got to wear their glasses. But yeah, there's a small O-ring right here on a little tube. And there's one on this one. And here's the two little ones. Don't want to mix these up, but I'll put all my good ones here. So we'll put this one on this tube up here, and then we'll put this one, well, let me just clean this up. And then we'll wait to put that one on. Clean that so there's nothing in there that can cause more leaks after we get it back on. But I'm pretty sure that these old hard O-rings are the reason we are not, or the reason we're having leaks. And I think originally I had a leak up top here from the starter. O-ring was bad. So I had quite a few. This thing too, holy cow, it just won't even get out of there. It's so tight. Man. I need maybe a little bit of pliers on that sucker. It's probably going to break. Or, yeah, there we go. Hard as a rock. I mean, this thing is just, it's flat. Which, this one I don't think is a flat O-ring. Nope, it's pretty round. So let's put that one on. I'm just going to go down the hole here. I will use a little bit of oil to lubricate these things. Kind of like how we do it at work. Just put a little bit of lube, and also when you lube an O-ring, when you're rolling it, it helps it roll over and not bind up. So we got those two, a little bit of oil on there for my fingers. That will go on there. And it's not like they're very tight, so a little bit of leeway there when we push it on. Put that one on there. And they should find their center when I put this back in. And just out of curiosity, looking inside the cavity here, oil looks pretty good. I don't see any junk. A little bit of stuff there, but nothing really to worry about. And I think I'll clean that real quick. Use a couple of Q-tips to get in these cracks. Just so I know that I've cleaned everything. I don't have to worry about it. So, all right, O-ring, O-ring, O-ring. There's one on here. The main one is on here. It's seated. So let's see how this sucker slides back in there. Drain some of that oil out of there. Should just, it's a pretty tight fit. There we go. So I'm going to make sure my O-ring is still on there. The little one. The big one's lined up over there. No. See, the little one, I don't see it. I think it fell out. Let's see what happened here. Oh, no, it's there. I just couldn't see it in there. Okay. Just being paranoid. Anyway, let's try to put this in again. Another trick to putting O-rings on things to keep them on is Vaseline, if you have any. We use that in the aircraft industry, which I work for. So now I have to see if I can get this thing to go in and lock it. Nope, see, that's a problem there. I have to turn the pump to get it to line the mesh with the gears here. So this thing has to mesh with that gear in there. And let's try it again. I get lucky here. think we're good this time. Try to tap down a little bit maybe. It doesn't feel like it. It's hard to gauge whether that thing, maybe I can give it a little kick. So I do have the bike leaning a little bit so I don't lose a bunch of oil, but I don't think I need to do that because the oil is kind of low. So I'll put it back upright. And yeah, I'm just not getting that gear to mesh in there. There's not much turning room here. So I have to do this little bit of a turn at a time. It's going to be a little bit tough. There's nothing in the way. You always want to make sure you don't have anything stuck in the way. Oh, thought I had it there. I'm not in the right spot. I wonder if we can draw it in a little bit. That's part of it, because we did have to pry it out. No, I'm not very comfortable with that. I don't like the way that's going. I'm not in very far. I barely put it in, but still not going in like I like it. And it didn't come out that difficult once we got it unseated. I think it's just that gear. So turn the gear again, another tooth. Nope. That was the tricky part. There it goes. All right, you see how that went in there now. I'm just hoping all my O-rings are on there, which I think they are. They're not in here, which is good. So we'll start these bolts again. And this one. There we go. Okay. And then the big one. And the one that held all the hardware. I believe that's a 10 on there. Put a little bit of torque on these, not too much right now. I gotta figure out what that is. And just to seat it evenly. Okay, so not horrible. A little bit of a pain there getting that gear mesh back in, but I'm hoping all my O-rings stayed where they needed to stay. I'm going to clean up all this oil and do a quick run and see if I have a leak. And if it leaks, unfortunately I have to take it all apart again, and hopefully it didn't damage any of the O-rings, which would be another kit I have to order. But I'm going to get all the oil out of there and see what happens. So stay tuned.